Hi everyone, morning, it's Saturday. Here I am on the Carvel Creative site going live. It's Michelle Carville, founder of Carvel Creative. So this morning I just wanted to say hello and tell you a little bit about a new group we've created called Social Souls. But I thought it was quite timely actually to actually talk about the changes that Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook talked about yesterday. So, you know, it's interesting. I'm a member of a few groups, and what I have seen is kind of sheer panic, like, oh no, you know, Facebook's changing. But I think it's for the better. I really do. And, you know, they are a savvy bunch, and it is, what's probably happened is that they have seen statistics falling in engagement and the amount of people that are actually engaging with Facebook. It was interesting when I posed the question yesterday over on Social Souls. Hazel, one of the members over there, mentioned that she'd actually stopped using Facebook or not engaging with it as much purely because she was sick of the feed being full up of ads and things that were irrelevant. And so of course if people stop using the platform, then it doesn't matter how much money that Facebook achieves through ad revenue. If nobody's on there, that ad revenue isn't going to stick around for very long. Those brands are not going to stick around for very long if there are no eyeballs looking at what is going on. So I would say, you know, my message is I think it's a good thing, and I would say don't panic. If you have got a business that is solely dependent on Facebook, then, you know, now is just a bit of a time to push a bit harder. I think there are three key things, and it's something that, you know, David Taylor, who's also a member over on Social Souls, he and I used to talk about this many years ago when we first started training people in social media. And the reality is that Facebook is a platform, like all of the social media platforms, but Facebook owns Facebook. You know, just as Mark Zuckerberg has come out and made these changes, he's got every right to do that. They can change their algorithms, they can play around with stuff, and, you know, we get affronted, we get furious when these things happen. How dare they? Well, how dare they? Because it's their business, it's their platform, and fundamentally they are looking after you know, their asset. And if they see the stats looking as if people are leaving that platform because they're getting sick of being bombarded by things that are irrelevant, then they're going back to basics and they're focusing on, well, what was this all about? It was all about community, it was all about conversation, it was all about engagement, it was people talking with their friends and family, or talking with people around, you know, common subjects that were actually relevant. So I think that going back to basics is quite a good thing, and I think that, you know, Facebook owns Facebook. As a business owner, as somebody who's got a business asset out on Facebook, you really should be thinking about broadening your horizons, and so that is a message that I've always shared when I've done any training, any consulting, is that, you know, be mindful that Facebook is a great platform. Use it, optimize it, play with it, you know, change as it changes. You know, if it changes, you've got to think a bit more creatively about, okay, well, how do I drive more engagement? How do I get that community going? So I think another thing is about broadening your horizons. If Facebook is your only business channel, well, now is definitely not the time to fall off the platform. You know, you've just got to think creatively about how to optimize yourself on that platform. But it's definitely time to be thinking about broadening your client base or broadening your marketing base, so that you're not purely focused on Facebook. So, you know, if you're connected to people on Facebook, make sure you're gathering their email addresses, or even better, their mobile numbers, you know, so you can be SMSing them or messaging them through Facebook directly. Perhaps it's relevant to connect with them on LinkedIn. Perhaps it's relevant to connect with them on Twitter. Perhaps it's relevant to get them into a WhatsApp group where you have got more control at the moment. So be broadening your horizons, you know. one kind of one entity and putting all your eggs into one basket is never a brave or never a smart strategy, particularly if you don't own the platform that you're putting all those eggs into. So think about broadening those horizons. Think about what you can be doing to capture the audience that you have got already and taking them offline so that you can nurture them in other ways. The other thing I would say is, don't panic about the fact that it may mean that your numbers or your visibility may reduce. I think this gives an opportunity to really focus on the quality of your content, the quality of your audience, and therefore the quality of your engagement, and building meaningful relationships, building meaningful and having meaningful conversations. So I think that there is, it's positive. Yes, it's change, but it's how you think about change. You can either think, oh my goodness, everything's changed. My business that I set up on Facebook is now going to dive and everything's a disaster. Or you can think, well, hang on, this is an opportunity for me to be more creative, to think about what this actually means, and to broaden my horizons and fundamentally get real with the fact that Facebook owns Facebook and pretty much they can do with Facebook whatever they want to do. So that's all I wanted to say, really, that Facebook owns Facebook. Focus on quantity, not quantity but quality of engagement, quality of your audience, quality of the content, quality of the conversation, rather than the quantity, and get those conversations going, because it's engagement, it's that community spirit that really Facebook will reward you for. So doing things like talking to your audience, getting conversations going and engaging your audience in things that they're interested in, that's all going to add value to your presence on Facebook with these new algorithm changes, as to what we can surmise at the moment. And then of course broaden your horizons. That's just smart. Don't just have one platform. Facebook's great. You can do lots of things with Facebook. You can do your live video, you can talk to people, you can create groups, you can create community, you can promote stuff, you can advertise at a very granular level. It's got a lot of assets going for it, but so have a lot of other platforms, and so have a lot of other elements of digital marketing. So it might be that you're thinking everything's a disaster because Facebook is changing, but actually it's not. It's not. Just think differently. Just start applying some of those same tactics to different channels or to different platforms. So that's all I wanted to say. So I will be back a little bit more frequently, not just because of the algorithm changes, but because of our strategy for 2018. And I'm really looking forward to being back in the driving seat at Carvel Creative, and definitely helping other people to understand social, understand digital, and answer any questions and offer support and advice and training and education over on the Social Souls group. So just to give you a little bit of an overview of Social Souls. Why Social Souls? Well, I set up Social Souls because sometimes this Facebook page is not necessarily the page to be answering lots of questions. You can't really create the community out of a page. But a group, we can all have conversations and everybody can dive in. So, I am not the only social media pro and digital marketing person around in Social Souls. There are others, and that's the spirit. The spirit is that because social media and because digital marketing is changing all the time, and here's another change that came out yesterday, we have to support one another with, well, what are we going to do? And so there are no stupid questions. I used to get asked so many questions. People were afraid to put their hands up, oh, that's a stupid question, I should know that. But actually it's changing so fast that you don't necessarily know it. So that's what Social Souls is about. Social Souls is there for you to ask questions, and anything at all about social media, digital marketing. Can't always say that we will find 100% the most accurate question, but we will endeavour to do so. And everybody on the group, that is the spirit, to ask questions, to support one another. It's not a sales pitch, you're not there to tout your services. It really is about support, education, advisory, conversation. And for those social media managers that are on their own, that can be a lonely place. And sometimes I get asked a lot of questions by pros out there saying, Michelle, you know, you must know what you're talking about. You've written some books. What do you know about this, that, and the other? Well, if I know about it, I'm happy to share it. But if I don't, I'm happy to say, but I don't know. But if you find out, let me know. So that's the spirit. That's the spirit of Social Souls. So I will put a link in this live. And if you haven't joined Social Souls, it's free to join. Jump across, say hello, and we will be doing more and more education, advice, advisory, conversation, etc. over in that group as well. So ask questions, that's what it's all about. So thanks for tuning in. Again, just to recap, I think with whatever's going on with Facebook, don't panic, you know, don't panic. It's an opportunity to get more creative, to really look at the platform and think about your content, think about your conversation, think about your engagement, think about your audiences, and I think it will make us all a bit more mindful. So over and out for now. Thanks for tuning in, and I will be catching up with you soon. Take care. Bye.